So, James, with the one topic we haven't really discussed yet is we've got a vaccine that's available and starting to be distributed now. Do employers have legal requirements or risks in terms of, maybe mandating the vaccine or keeping their employees safe through the
It is
vaccine?
the hot question. And it is a great question. And we've analyzed this issue both federally and at a state and local level. And the answer at a high level is yes, you could require it. However, when you take the culture of most companies, about 50% don't want to be required to get the vaccine. And the exceptions to requiring it are actually relatively easy to get out of getting the vaccine if some employee uh, chose. So I'll give you two examples. One is if you have a disability or medical condition where you had a doctor's note, for example, where maybe you have anxiety and that would increase your anxiety because you're so fearful of how you would react to it. That disability accommodation could require you not to force it, and instead you'd have to evaluate an alternative solution or some other reasonable accommodation. And what I'm seeing as the hottest issue right now is that if you are vegan, if you have a religious belief to be vegan, because all of these vaccines have been tested on animals, the vaccine is not vegan. So if you need to stick to your vegan, you know, ways as part of a sincerely held religious belief, you cannot force an employee to change their sincerely held religious belief, and you would have to evaluate ways to accommodate that belief. So we're starting to see, exceptions to what companies want to do are always a disability or sincerely held religious belief that you would have to evaluate. And I think as far as even if you could force it, should you? And that's where I think we should, encourage our employees to talk to us. I think most companies are against healthy conflict. And I think Steve Jobs, had a good quote: I don't want to hire employees and tell them what to do. I want them to tell me what to do. So I think we should start encouraging, a better dialogue and conflict and sharing different ideas, because isn't that the true meaning of diversity? We don't want a dictatorship. We want to hear different perspectives and points of view. And if for those employees that may not want to be forced to get the vaccine, maybe you could continue allowing them to work remotely until the other employees that want a vaccine have an opportunity to get it and explore other accommodations.
Just tying into that, Elizabeth, from your side, what's leadership expecting to do as the vaccine becomes available?
Well, my board has tasked me with overseeing and keeping a pulse on how we can quickly move through that schedule. It's a very broad interpretation of where we actually fit in. It's manufacturing, sort of, at most of our organizations. We are an essential worker because we provide our services and products are for governmental contracts, military. So there is that key component, but it really doesn't move us up the chain as quickly as they would like to see. And it is on a voluntary basis. There's not the standpoint of we're going to strong arm any employees into this, but I have explained that we need to just keep a pulse and educate, right? We're keeping employees up to date in our various states of where things are at for that particular location. Some are moving quicker through it than others. So with my HR team, each of them are watching daily what's going on with the state updates and what's going on with the local health centers, hospitals. So there's multiple channels, but I've tasked each location to keep that pulse. It's just too much volume for me to vet out every single one, and then just keep the leadership updated as we move through it. Michigan is as slow as it's feeling in Michigan. It's actually faster than the South. South Carolina, the news was we'd be lucky if we, through this list, get it hits us for essential workers until the winter of 2021, like the fourth quarter. So that's the tricky part, state by state. And Michigan by far is looking like the leader for all the states that I'm presently in.